a package deal. We wanted to talk about touching basic on. It was like graffiti on the trains. And it all became a package deal, the way you dress, tagging your name. So you had to be really known. There was clubs that you go to and they point you out. If not, you're not getting in. Right. Let me see. Oh yeah, this guy. Let me see. Yeah, he do. Yeah. If you're not known, you're not getting in. You can be there all night and you're not getting in. True. And it was exaggerated. You had to see it. The block parties was, exaggerated. Every other block was people dancing like crazy. It was insane.
So who would you say the demographic was at that time? Was it Latinos, a majority of Latinos?
It was all Latino, but Jason. All my brothers.
Yeah, but
we had girls. We had girls also. Yeah. We had girls at the time also that would get down and battle with the guys and battle with
I had a group. I had my group, popular Little Day Rockers, and they were almost all girls in it.
And we had the salsa girl, the salsa
dance. Yes, that's what we had the girls.
But you know what though? That's all due respect, but that's like a racial comment. And honestly speaking, from my point of view, and I'm more than 50 years old. From my point of view, it was interracial. If you could dance, you could dance. That was really the bottom line. You know, I think it was cool. I think it was because the records we used to dance to, you had Red Earth. They're not Spanish. You had James Brown. You had James Brown. You know, he's not Spanish. And you had Just Begun with Jimmy Castor Bunch. And the point was, can you get down? That was really the bottom line because I had
dance to those music to that music. That's that beat.
The reason I ask that is we do a lot of stories on b-boy culture, breakdancing, and Rocksteady crew comes up quite a bit because that's one of the biggest crews that are out there now. And we always get emails from people on the West Coast saying breakdancing originated in the West Coast by the African American community. Then you got cats from New York being like, no, it was started by Latinos in the Bronx. And so there's all these misconceptions. So what's the truth?
I want to be honest with you. From my point of view, all due respect, but I don't really know what they call it, but they have labeled it the ghetto. And that's really where it originated from. It's like the style with the baggy pants. From my point of view, it came from Rikers Island. When they strip you from everything, you got none of the West, you be holding your pants up. And you be walking around with no laces. There was a time when Run DMC came on with my Adidas with no laces. My point of view, that came from Rikers Island. When you got knocked, when they rescue you, they take off your laces, they take off your belt and everything because some individuals use the suicide. They used to hang themselves up. So to avoid it, they strip you from it. And people walking around with no shoelaces and holding up their pants. And I think that's where it originated from. The breakdancing is just from the streets. It's like if an individual standing there and they play music, what are you going to do? You're not going to just stand there. So you start moving and it just branches out. I think it's something that just originates from soul, from how you feel. You know what I mean? I seen a show on TV, they call it crank, something like that. You get cranked, it just you one thing leads to another. And it branches out, you know? But as far as who exactly started, I think it's impossible to actually pinpoint it. It's like they got some guy saying that he started scratch. I don't think so. Because when we used to battle DJ, also an MC, and when I used to be in the basement, I used to scratch. I didn't think of who invented it, where it came from, it was just there.
It's like that movie Beat Street. It's like that movie Beat Street. Okay, we were going around before that movie Beat Street came out.
True, that's right.
Okay, we was out there dancing and all that. Look at Beat Street. Beat Street is all about breakdancing and also graffiti. They had another one that not too long ago, back in its earlies, that Fruloop. That movie Footloose. That's another one. That's another one there. They're doing that dance also, acting like they're the old days, but we was out before they came in that movie.
So why are you guys still in the culture?
Because I love it. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. For me, all due respect is better than a bag of heroin. That's what I see. For me, I go to the dance floor and I start breaking. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, I brought some CDs with me. I got some tapes with me. I carry music with me. It drives me nuts. And those that are in it, it drives them nuts too. And you come out of here with your adrenaline pump so much, and you're so happy.
It gets me a positive motive inside of me. It makes me move and dance. I've been listening to music in my house sometimes. I just want to do some moves. My kids look at me like I'm crazy. What the hell are you doing? See, you don't understand. Those were my days. When I used to do those days and all that. But I still do them anyway. They look at me, I'm crazy, but that's all right.
My kids tell me, God, Daddy, you're still stuck on 17. You're on 50, Daddy. But it's that I still got records, I still got music. It's just, I really can't explain it, but it's something like the adrenaline goes to its uppermost degree. You know, I've seen people literally faint. Dancing so long, they just faint, they out. You done.
Are you surprised that it's evolved so much and it's still such a huge culture today in 2008?
I was surprised. I was surprised when King Rock one day brought me over to the school area to see the kids, and I was shocked. And I said, "Man, they're still doing it?" Because I thought it was dead. I thought it died out. You know, because I haven't been out dancing for a while and seen it. And they came out to me to this school area, and I seen the kids. You know, it really opened me up and gave me more courage, and to look at what became from what we were doing in days, to look at the kids doing it now as in a positive way. You know, instead of being in the streets, messing around, looking for trouble, getting high, or trying out there to steal, instead they're in the school area learning something positive. And if I could give them my input and help them, they're welcome to it.
Are you impressed about what you're seeing now, the different moves? Because you guys originated some moves. You guys must have
You know what else too?
back in the day.
I'm sorry, but you know what else too? Me personally, I didn't pay no mind. I didn't really focus if it was going to branch out. Is it famous? Is it going to be in the news? Is it going to be elaborated on in the future? It was just a thing to do. It wasn't like, well, I'm going to start doing this now because in the future they're going to talk about it. No, it wasn't like that. It was just like, where's it at? The Inferno, let's go. And we out there, where's it at? Studio 54, let's go. You know? It's like him, I remember with the straw hats. We used to wear straw hats. And he was constantly
that was our mark. That was our mark. We had our straw hats and we go out there and just, you know, get down. Break all night.
Yeah, with the marshmallows and all that.
Are you guys all Latino?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm human.
So,
That's actually a good answer.
with the marshmallows and the hush puppies out there.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel like when they say hip hop is dead?
Me personally, I don't think it's possible because it's like I know music that you hear it and be like, what's that? But they have their own crowd, they have their own fans cheering when they play. You see, so hip hop. What I dislike about it, excuse me that I'm going back and forth a little bit, but what I dislike about it is when individuals criticize and don't really know what they're talking about.
True.
You know, it's like I could be dressed and not gonna look like a killer. Why? Because beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. You might say, oh, look at this guy, wait. But then when you speak to me, you be like,